Let's compare the speed and performance difference of the iPhone XS versus newest iPhone 16e. Between these phones, there are roughly 7 years of difference, which is absolutely crazy. When the iPhone XS was released, it was really way ahead of its time, and again, it was complete game changer for Apple, I guess. So we actually finally had really nice design with super good performance, again, also very good camera. So this phone really definitely out of all iPhones probably was the biggest game changer for Apple, I think. This iPhone 16e, I think it's actually a bit behind its time. So I think for the price it costs, it's really not the best deal. So in this video, let's see how they actually compare. So I have pretty much made them to look the same, so you can tell the difference, or maybe you can't tell the difference. So the iPhone XS is still running the latest iOS 18, so both are running the same software. By the way, also the iPhone XS will also receive the latest iOS 19, which is absolutely crazy, as essentially we are getting like 8 years of software support on this phone. Absolutely insane. So I guess the only like real difference in software, I guess, between these phones is that you simply get this Apple Intelligence on the 16e. But from my experience really, and with the iPhone 16 also, basically is that Apple Intelligence isn't very intelligent at all when you compare to, for example, Samsung or like Pixel phones. I think it's pretty much like useless for most tasks. So again, in real life, it's really just a gimmick that barely even works. By the way, compared to the regular iPhone 16, the 16e actually doesn't have the same CPU performance, and in early tests that I saw, basically the iPhone 16e basically performs around 15% worse than the regular iPhone 16. So definitely the chip has been downgraded from the regular version. But when we actually use this phone for basic tasks, really it is very smooth, and really I do not think anyone will actually have any problems whatsoever with this phone. So everything opens like pretty much instantly, and if you basically need to switch between the apps, it's really smooth. And again, everything is like battery smooth on this phone. It's absolute joy to use. So when we compare the everyday usage versus the XS, then you can definitely tell a difference, especially when it comes to like higher-end tasks. Maybe if you like only open some phone app or calls, then maybe you do not even see that much of a difference, as this still feels like very decent phone. So again, it doesn't feel like a sluggish phone. So even with this new software, I still think it has been very well optimized, and for daily tasks, for very simple tasks, I really do not know any person who will maybe like complain about the performance and how it feels essentially. Okay, and let's compare the performance side by side. So here I have the iPhone XS and here I have the iPhone 16e. As you can see, the design difference between them really isn't that much. Obviously we have a larger screen, and also the notch is smaller, but in 2025, when it comes to design on like €700 phone, I think it's completely pathetic, really. So anyway, let's start maybe with a game, simple game. By the way, again, I have closed all my like background stuff, so starting from fresh. And let's see. As you can see, definitely. So yep, definitely much faster than on that one. But again, is that really a problem when you are playing a game? By the way, also the display quality also obviously is much better on the like iPhone 16e essentially. So I really like the colors better on that one. What I really do not like is the iPhone navigation. So like on Androids is obviously much better. We have the back button, again, universal way how to go back in any app. So I think that's better on the Android. Let's open phone. So I see definitely faster on that one, but again, is that really a huge difference that you will like notice every day? Of course you'll notice it, but again, these phones have huge price difference between them. So definitely faster on that one, but again, not that huge difference. Again, these aren't the like highest demanding apps, so again, for low-end stuff like this, there isn't that much of a difference, I guess. So you see pretty much the same, really. So browser, you can see definitely it's faster, obviously, since it has way more powerful CPU. But again, for basic tasks, the difference really, yeah, as you can see, Obviously it opens faster, but again, this iPhone XS is still packing quite a lot of punch really. So as you saw, like all apps basically opened much faster on the iPhone 16e. Well, maybe not much faster, but really where the main difference, I guess, is maybe on higher end tasks. Maybe if you need to export videos and stuff like that, so basically which really maxes out the CPU, then obviously this performs much better. And again, this often feels like sluggish. Also, when you actually open like tons of different apps in the background and run like heavy games essentially, so this has got, I think, 4 gigabytes of RAM, whereas this 8 gigabytes of RAM. So again, if you like multitask a lot of things, obviously this is where the iPhone 16e will be much better than the older stuff. And overall, the iPhone XS still packs quite a lot of punch. And if you're wondering if you should upgrade, really, well, I guess it really depends on how much you can actually get the iPhone 16e for. So if you are, for example, in Europe and you really have to pay like those 750 euros for it, then I do not think that phone is worth. So it's not worth that money at all. So for the price, you can get a much better Samsung S25. This has got obviously way better design, and also obviously we have 120 Hz refresh rate, and most things are better on this phone. For this price, if you need to spend that, really get maybe the regular iPhone 16. It's much better deal. Also on the iPhone 16e, we actually have like worse cameras than on the iPhone 16. So actually what's funny is the camera sensor size, the main camera sensor size on the iPhone 16e and this XS are identical, which is absolutely insane. So of course like actual picture and video quality is significantly better on the 16e, especially maybe like low light condition, but again in like good light, still the iPhone XS, basically when I tested them side by side, essentially it still provides very good pictures and videos. And again, the iPhone XS can still record like 4K 60 frames per second. So again, I mean, this phone in this day was a complete flagship. So the XS model essentially was a pro version of the like 10. So again, it was like the best of the phone at this time, and again the pro version essentially, whereas this one is obviously a budget version. And again, I purchased this phone myself roughly a year ago for 50 euros only. So I think the price difference between them really is absolutely massive. So if you can get like very cheap iPhone XS or any other age iPhone that still has got very good battery life, so, and if you like do not multitask or do like absolutely crazy heavy tasks and you do not care about Apple Intelligence, then really I do not think you should upgrade. So I think you should maybe get for the regular iPhone 16, because that is actually a decent upgrade and I think it's a very good phone. But this one 16e, again, unless you can maybe get it for free, maybe using some like network deal, or again for very cheap money, then of course you can get this phone. But if you need to spend that 750 euros for it, I think it's completely ridiculous for the price we are getting. Obviously it's still a good phone, but if you can get it for a good price, then obviously you can get it. But for this one, I really can't suggest. And still, if the battery life on your old iPhone is still good, I think you can maybe wait for maybe like the iPhone 17e, maybe we'll get the better design or better display on that one, as I think they will probably release 17e also next year. But this one, unless you can get for a very cheap price, I do not think it's a good value for money. Anyway, good luck.